What are some of your favorite books or favorite authors, and especially maybe books or authors that you go to think about God, to think about faith and spirituality? Well, one author who has been really important to our family is Madeline L'Engle. And she's written all kinds of books, but maybe she's most known for A Wrinkle in Time. Here's what she says in one of her other books. When I try to find contemporary 20th century mystics to help me in my own search for meditation and contemplation, I turn to the cellular biologists and astrophysicists, for they're dealing with the nature of being itself, and their questions are theological ones. What is the nature of time, of creation, of life? What is human creativity? What is our share in God's work? Now today we're going to read two books, and we're going to learn about God from both of them. Those two books are The Word and The World. Now the word is kind of a churchy word, like our last series, Churchy Words, but it's usually referred to in Christian circles as, well, the Bible, the Word of God. It's sort of short for the Word of God. But it goes even deeper than that. We read in John, one of Jesus' closest followers, his story of Jesus' life, and he begins it with this sort of expanding out to the whole universe. And he says, in the beginning, the Word already existed. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word of God, the Bible, points to the Word of God in the flesh, that is, Jesus. Paul, one of the first missionaries of the church, author of many of the books of the Bible, wrote this letter to the church in Colossians and said, Christ is the visible image of the invisible God. So that's one book, The Word. But the other book that we're going to read today, the second one, is The World. And one of my favorite Psalms in the Bible, the Psalms are kind of the prayer book of the Bible. One of my favorite Psalms is Psalm 19. And I first really dug into that Psalm because I loved backpacking in my youth. And I wanted to meditate on the Word without having to carry the weight of an actual physical Bible. So I memorized Psalm 19, and I love how it begins. You'll see exactly why it's a perfect verse to meditate on while you're backpacking. The heavens are telling the glory of God, and the firmament proclaims God's handiwork. Day to day pours forth speech, and night to night declares knowledge. There is no speech, nor are there words. Their voice is not heard, yet their voice goes out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. So that's one place in the Word, the Bible, where we read about the book of the world. There's another place, though, again, back to Paul in his letter to the Romans, where he says this, For ever since the world was created, people have seen the earth and sky. Through everything God made, they can clearly see God's invisible qualities, God's external power, God's eternal power, and divine nature. So they have no excuse for not knowing God. God speaks not only in the Word, that is the Bible, and the Word in the flesh, Jesus, but God also speaks in the world. And as we're going to come to find in this series and in this message today, that God speaks science. Before we get to that, though, I have a chat question for you here. So turn to a neighbor or put your answer in the comments section to this question. We're going to get science geeky right now. How much did you love or hate your high school or college science classes, especially physics? Let's talk about it.